Hello everyone, my name's Hooten and welcome to the GenX Analytics YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over another ecosystem. We're going over Harmony today. Harmony is quite an interesting chain. It's trying to focus on sort of interoperability between other chains by using bridges. It's got its own validator system. It's got some serious funding being thrown into it as well. And we're going to talk about all that today, so stay tuned. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so the number one most important question, what is Harmony? Harmony is a blockchain platform designed to facilitate the creation and use of decentralized applications. The network aims to innovate the way decentralized applications work by focusing on random state sharding, which allows creating blocks in seconds. Sharding is the process of splitting a blockchain into multiple parts called shards. I thought I would mention that in this video because in the previous videos, I don't think I mentioned what sharding actually was. So there you go. Harmony currently consists of 4 shards. Shard 0 is the beacon chain, and it's responsible for transmitting information between the other shards 1, 2, and 3. Each shard has a limit of 250 validators. A single shard is capable of processing 1,000 transactions per second. Now, a little bit of a side note to this. Different sources say different numbers of transactions per second. So for the sake of this, we'll say 1,000. But the ultimate thing to take away from this is that when more users come to Harmony, they can scale easily by creating more shards. So doesn't really matter too much. Harmony's sharding approach depends on a secure randomness source, so the validators can be assigned to shards in a truly random manner and avoid single sharded attacks. So this part's going to be a bit of a mouthful, so bear with me. Harmony designed a distributed randomness generation protocol, which involves both verifiable random function and verifiable delay function to achieve some key properties. It's unpredictable, so no one should be able to predict the random number before it's generated. It's unbiased, which means the process of generating the random number should not be biasable by any participant. It's verifiable. The validity of the generated random number should be verifiable by any observer. And it's scalable. So the algorithm of randomness generation should scale to a large number of participants. Unlike traditional blockchains which require proof of work to reach consensus, Harmony is a proof of stake blockchain, which is energy efficient and low cost for node runners. The process to elect validators is called effective proof of stake, EPOS, which is the first sharding focused proof of stake mechanism that prevents stake centralization. In EPOS, validators with a large amount of stake tokens are obligated to run more nodes to support the network, while validators with less stake run fewer nodes. I think what that means by validators with a large amount of stake tokens are obligated to run more nodes. I think the reward is slashed if a validator becomes too big. So I think that's what it means when it's talking about encouraging them to open more validators rather than just having it in one place. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next bit now, which is to do with Harmony's fund. This is the funding that I talked about just in the intro. They announced $300 million plus focused on Web3 grants and DAOs across the Harmony ecosystem. So as you see on the website, the thesis on the Harmony ecosystem fund is to build, play and talk. Building just means generous pay for developers and creatives towards impacts. Play just means small budgets but experimental in short time frames. And talk means strong guidance and peer feedbacks in the open forums. So just encouraging people to get out there, share their opinions, their experiences that they've had, maybe creating on other chains or something like that. They do have a bit of a showcase video. I'll have a look through it, and if it looks good, then we'll add it in the video. So in terms of what's included in the actual fund, you've got 100 DAOs, 1,000 bounties, 10 partners, 100 grants, 500 launches, 50 investments, and 10 hackathons. So you can see there's plenty of money being spent around the ecosystem. And you can see they've got a bit of a treasury reserve as well for 3 years, and the total fund will last over 4 years. Hopefully, that's what they're aiming for. I'll leave a link to this in the description as well. As you can see, they've gone more and more in depth on just how this money is going to be spent and sort of what the aim of all this is. As you can see down here, you got between 10 and 100 events. But obviously it just depends on how much it's going to cost to run them. So they go a little bit more in depth on some of the DAOs that are actually going to be included. And again, I'll leave a link to this, and there's something else that they talk about on a different article in the description as well. But they're focusing on wallet DAOs, research DAOs, community DAOs, validator DAOs, developer DAOs, basic DAOs, and matching DAOs. So all this funding is going to be going to all these different DAOs. DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. I had to think about that for a second. And what that basically means is that there's no like official head. It's more of a group of people that come together and vote. And yeah, that's sort of a basic thing of what a DAO is. All right, so we're going to be going over just a couple more things that Harmony has to offer. As you can see, we're just on the validator section, or the staking section. So to actually stake and take part in the system, you need to create a Harmony 1 wallet. I'll leave a link to that in the description so you can have a look at that yourself. The minimum amount required to delegate is 101 tokens. And to delegate, you simply just go through the list of validators. I would like to pick this one, Keep Node. All I have to do is just click delegate, and you can see I need a minimum of 100 ones to delegate, and it will show a bit of a calculation of the fees and stuff there as well. And you can see actually a list of delegators as well if you scroll a bit further down, so it just gives you some kind of stats, so you can see who's actually delegating. And then yeah, that's all there is really. You can see the expected return, so you can see that it's been pretty stable for quite a while now, of just around 10%, and that seems to be the case for most of the validators that I've seen. Yeah, so something to keep in mind. Seems quite nice for a solid 10% return. As you can see just across down here, all of them earn around the same kind of rewards. And every epoch, these validators change, so just make sure that the node is secure. Now, if you want to become a validator yourself, I'm afraid it's got quite a hefty cost. The minimum amount to create a validator successfully needs to have at least 10,000 one tokens. So you can see it's quite a big jump from the minimum of 100 just to take part in one of these. And you also need a little bit extra for just the fees to make sure that you can actually pay for the transaction on the chain. So that's just a bit of a rundown just on the staking system. Like I said, every epoch, which is, you can just see there, the next one is in 874 minutes. All these validators will sort of jump about and refresh. You'll get some new ones in there. Some of these will maybe get taken off, but you can see their total uptime just here. So you can see how long they've actually been a validator for. So it means you can just pick out of these. Obviously you want to go for a higher percentage really, don't you? Yeah, that's basically it for the staking section. This is kind of another dApp I just wanted to go over quickly. You can see that they already have a couple of bridges themselves. Horizon by Harmony. You can see that you've got a bridging system for Binance chain and Ethereum's chain. It's as simple as just clicking on the chain that you want. You connect your MetaMask wallet and your Harmony wallet. Both of those can be just on MetaMask. So that for ease, you might as well just have them both there. You just simply click on the chain that the token's currently on. So we'll say BEP20. Select your token address. There's a list of ones here, or you can use a custom one, just copy and paste, and then that is it. You don't need to do anything else. Select the amount you want to send, press continue, and that's it. Simple as that. Nice and easy to use, and it will also show all your assets here that you've bridged. So yeah, nice and quick, simple, easy to use. I'll leave a link in the description. Another thing that I just wanted to touch on in terms of Harmony and how it's developing is just their roadmap. It looks a bit different, this roadmap, compared to what you've seen before. A lot of them just seem to be infographics or something like that. But I suppose they do have that, but this is a better roadmap in my opinion. It's basically just a list of all the things that are currently being worked on. You can see it's color coded, so these ones are currently live just on the testnet. So if you head over there, you can test them out yourself. And then you can see on some of these that are live on mainnet or devnet. Yeah, you can see that yourself. So they're currently working on a Bitcoin bridge, a trustless Ethereum bridge, which is just like a second thing to what we previously saw. Cosmos bridge, Polygon bridge. So you can see that they're really focusing on sort of interoperability and just making sure that all these chains could be bridged over to one or to Harmony. And you've also got cross shard transactions, but we'll just click on a random one. We'll go for the trustless Ethereum bridge, and it just gives an update. You can see who it's been assigned by. You can see the GitHub, so you can see just the issues that they might have at the moment. And then they have like a progress update, and as we scroll further down, there's a bit of a description of what it actually is trying to achieve, and the milestones it has achieved as well. In my opinion, it's more for developers in a way, because developers can come together and can say, right, I need to build this trustless Ethereum bridge, but I'm having issues with these pieces of code. You go onto GitHub and other developers can contribute and sort of help out to the whole development, which is why I suppose decentralization plays into it, because it's no single developer just working on these things. It could be anyone. It could be me or you if we knew how to do it. maybe you do know how to do it. So yeah, here's just a bit of a list of the things that they are currently working on. You can see they've got MetaMask staking down there as well. To stake at the moment, yeah, like I said before, it's just the Harmony One wallet, but someone is working on it. Some devs are working on it, so stay tuned for that one. So here's just a little bit of a description about what they're actually focusing on. And you can see here that focusing on adoption, interoperability, decentralization, and zero knowledge proofs. And yeah, you can see just what these devs are actually focusing on. And here's the list of the things down below that they are currently testing. Yeah, it's nice to see a roadmap like this. Even though it can be a bit harder on the eyes to read when you look at something like this, it's nice to see where every individual thing is. So if you're interested in a particular application, such as the Cosmos bridge, then it's nice just to be able to click on that and see who is working on it, see how close it is to the actual launch, and then, you know, you can make your own decisions based off of what you see here. So one last thing to mention, in terms of dApps, they do have quite a few. If you just look on dApp Radar, then you'll see just a list of apps on there that you can actually use. One of the bigger ones that they do have is SushiSwap. Now, I've mentioned this before on previous videos, so I don't need to go through the entire thing, but if you're looking at where to actually access this, you just type in SushiSwap on Google and it will come up. I'll leave a link in the description as well, and you can see just how many networks that these guys actually have, and you can see that Harmony is just one here. So as you can see, it's just nice and simple. You just pick your tokens, enter your amount, and just swap, and that's all you need to do. Insufficient balance, yeah, I don't have anything on this wallet, but that's all you need to do there. Simple. And in terms of farms as well and pools, they do actually have Harmony ones as well, as you can see just scrolling through. So yeah, nice platform. It's included Harmony in its list of blockchains that are compatible. So yeah, nice and easy to get into the whole DeFi section as well. But that is going to be everything for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned something new. I know I have, going through the research of Harmony. It's interesting. I'm going to just keep an eye on where it's actually going, you know. But that's going to be everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. Almost forgot that one. Of course, subscribe, yeah. It does help a lot. In terms of sort of a bit of a conclusion for Harmony, I like the fact that they have a funding system and they've announced, you know, exactly what they're going to be spending it on. And they're sort of focusing on adoption and decentralization as well, which are two very important things. I think the actual fees for Harmony are super low and very fast transaction times, which is great to hear. It's nice to see that they do have their own sort of NFT market, sort of in the stages of growing, alongside with the chain as well. You got the $300 million, you know, dedicated to growing anything that includes Web3 and DAOs and that whole side of things, which is great to see, and also events as well that Harmony are funding. So it's just going to drive adoption more and more, especially when the world's opening up more after the whole COVID thing. Yeah, it's nice to see such a big investment into a new chain, and I'm just excited to see how far they actually go with it. But yeah, that is going to be everything. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Coming soon.